And starting. So, morning. Welcome, everybody. Lovely to have you all on board this morning, and special welcome back to Laura, to Donna for the first time, and Sally. I'm not sure if you've been with us before, but welcome nonetheless. And of course, our stalwarts and our regulars, Ed, Lee, Jasper, Trevor. Welcome to everybody. So this morning, inspire or inhibit is the topic. So hopefully we will inspire, we won't inhibit. We're certainly looking forward to challenging your thinking on the topic. And as always, we will dig in as we go along. So Lee, I don't know if I should hand this one to you or I should kick it across to Ed, seeing that it was his topic, but hey, now we'll do ladies first because it's the right thing to do. And excuse me if you think I'm a chauvinist, but guess what? I'm an old boy and I can be a chauvinist. So, and we just lost Lee in the process. Oh, there you go. So she ran away. Must have been that chauvinistic comment I made or something. I don't know. Okay. So Ed, it looks like the baby's in your bathwater. So hopefully you won't toss it out.
Yeah, and I think this came about because some people we think might be role models, perhaps they're just too far away from where we are to aspire to. And that's what sort of started it off, because I think some people just achieve too much and you think, well, I can't be like them. And it's interesting, actually, because I think previously we've talked about that quote from W.H. Murray that says, when we commit to something, providence moves. And all sorts of things occur that help one that would never otherwise have occurred. Well, I don't believe that. I think it's just your antennae are up. And yesterday I had one of those moments because I was networking and I met a guy and the sort of lead networker said, tell us something about you that no one else would know and would be impressed with. And he said he'd won 2 marathons. And so when we went into the breakout rooms, of course, we started talking about running. And he mentioned that he'd once beaten Josh Naylor. And Josh Naylor, to a trail runner that knows about running, is, you speak his name with reverence. He is an absolute legend. And of course, this guy beat him in a half marathon, and Josh Naylor does amazing things. And it suddenly realized the difference between enablers and inhibitors. Now, Josh Naylor does incredible things and he sets incredible records, but he helps other people. And he's a fell runner. Fell runner, it is a sport like no other. It exists in the Lake District up in the northwest of England, and it's tough men running and women running over tough ground, no routes, no paths, no nothing. They just get out there and they run up these incredible hills and they run down these incredible hills. And Josh Naylor, if someone wants to try and break his record, he'll help them. He'll run alongside them, hand them water, that sort of stuff, and he's created his own event, the Josh Naylor Lakeland Challenge, and it's for people over 50. And if you want to take it on, you let him know you're doing it, and he'll be at the end to shake your hand. So if you ever want to see what it's about, have a search on YouTube, and it's called A Shepherd's Hand. You'll find it if you search. It's a 5-minute film. It is so beautiful. It's a poem that goes with it. So Josh Naylor's an enabler. Now there's another guy, roughly the same age. I think he's a bit younger than Josh, but Josh is now 85 and he still turns out to shake people's hands. He still runs. There's another guy called Billy Bland, who's also a fell runner. And there's a thing called the Bob Graham round in fell running, which is the gold rhythm. It's like the sort of, well, it's even better than Comrades, It is a huge event. It's, how long is it? It's about 66 miles over 44 peaks with about 8,500 meters of ascent. And you've got 24 hours to do it in. And there's no paths, there's no routes, there's no nothing. And there's a guy, Billy Bland. In 1982, he set the record. And no one has ever beaten that record until 2 years ago, when Kilian Jornet broke it. I don't know if you guys have heard of Kilian Jornet. He is a mountain runner, and he is just the best. Now, Billy Brand, he set that record so high that no one ever dreamt of breaking it. It was too far. It was something they couldn't do. So for 36 years, no one broke it because it was an inhibitor. It was just too far out there. It was just too impossible. Until this guy, Kilian Jornet, came along, who himself is a legend. He's a legend in Europe, and he does sky runs. He races through the Alps. He races through the mountains. He comes from Catalonia in Spain. He'd hate me calling it Spain because he thinks they should be independent. I had a selfie with him once, which was like a high point of my life. But to me, Kilian Jornet also is not an enabler because he's too far out there. I could never aspire to be Kilian Jornet. I could never aspire to be Billy Brand. Josh Naylor, I could never be Josh Naylor except in spirit. And Josh Naylor knows that. So that's why if I ever went up there and tried to do his challenge, he would be there to shake my hand. But in another aspect, Kilian Jornet is an enabler because he and his partner, a lady called, I don't know if you can see the book, Skyrunner by Emily Frosberg. He and his partner, they just go in their camper van, go into the mountains and run just for pleasure. And Kilian is a fantastic photographer. He loves to take photographs. So when Emily runs, he takes the photographs. Now, that I can aspire to run in the mountains. So Kilian does inspire me to have that lifestyle. He doesn't inspire me to try and get running in the mountains and win races because he's just too far away from me. So yeah, I think you can have both, can't you? People that are just too far away that you just cannot aspire to them. And then also we get the people that just, whenever you've got a dream, they say, oh, you'll never do that. And whatever. And they are definitely inhibitors, aren't they? And I kick them out. I just do not have negative people in my circle of friends. If you want to be negative, you're out of my life. So yeah, that's my thoughts. So I'm sorry about the ramble. And please do look at that film. It's 5 minutes. It will tell you what fell running is about. Fell running is magic. It just is magic.
Right, thanks so much, Ed. Why don't you just pop some of those details into the chat so we can pick them up. Definitely aspire to watch those. Whether it will inspire me to try it, I'm not too sure, but that certainly sounds like fun. So Sally, I think let's get across to you. You confused me a little bit earlier because you didn't put your video up and you didn't put your surname up, so I didn't know who you were. But now I do. So Sally, over to you.
Okay, Ivan, can I maybe go after the next person so that I can just get my thoughts together still?
All right, so you're looking for someone to inspire you, and Ed obviously didn't
Yes.
do that. So okay, so Ed, yeah, you got to work harder on the inspiration elements. Yes. So.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, so Jasper, you're on the spot.
Good morning. Good morning to, for me, the newcomers, Donna and Laura. And yeah, welcome to this elite forum, the forum of enablers. Yes, an interesting topic, and I think depending on who's, at the steering wheel, we can take it anywhere. But I was just thinking, yes, almost its last closing words is how people tend to influence the world around them through their words. And if you then regurgitate all the negativity of the world around you, or there's no hope, we're at a downward spiral in the economy, and you don't even attempt to do it, you won't be able to do it. Then if we agree with that, there's a powerful law out there that where 2 or 3 agree on earth on any matter, so it will be for them. Well, then for you who agree with that opinion of someone, whether it's a politician or a newspaper or whatever, you've just accepted your fate. And it takes a person with almost a, what do you call it, a rebellious spirit to say, I'm not accepting your word, so I'm going to keep on looking until I find people around me that agree with me. And they are there. I mean, look at this group. And many of us didn't even know each other until a few minutes ago or a couple of years ago. But yeah, so for me, it's be careful what you agree to. Doesn't matter what is the popular opinion. And then I think the key to be between enabler and, or call it to inspire people or to inhibit them, is the ability, and Ed touched on that. If the thing about what I'm able to do is too big for me, I can't get a grip, I can't believe it, then I accept the negative. But it takes a person with a certain ability to just encourage you to say it is within your reach, just a little bit of a stretch, and make that stretch believable. So I want to frame it as saying, paint people in the picture of their possibilities. What I'm busy with is very much challenging people, and I use the analogy of some of the very hyper-rich families in our communities, and I'm not talking people who became rich in just a couple of years. I'm talking those generational families who built wealth from nothing, and then 3-4 generations later, they are a massive influence in the local economy. And then I trace it back to the founding parent of that family. What was their life story? And invariably, the life story of that parent was one of hardship, a struggle, had all the odds against him or her. And I use that as the inspiration to say, now look at this family, look at where they started. And people can relate to their hardship and the struggle, but then with a twist to say the difference here is the mindset of that parent. Look at what happened just a couple of generations further. So I want to encourage all of us not to look at the reality around us. I have a thing of saying, is it fact or is it truth? Now, fact is what you see around you, but it's not the truth. The truth is what you believe. And then the last one is a thing that I've learned way back is, do you have empathy or sympathy? Now, sympathy is when someone comes to you and tell you his sob story and you say, oh yes, poor you, and world is so tough, and you're a victim, etc. Whereas empathy is, I hear you, but so what? What are you going to do about it? And I think we can get further in life by learning the difference and applying the difference to all those people around us in terms of rather have empathy than sympathy. Back to you, Ivan.
Thanks, thanks, Jasper. Sorry, my computer's just giving a bit of grief here. Right, thanks for that, Jasper. Yeah, I love that. I love that phrase that you use there, paint people in the picture of their possibilities. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, it made me think of another saying, which isn't quite as eloquent or as elegant, but it's expect what you inspect. And that, you know, too many of us inspect and look for the bad things, and guess what? That's what's going to happen. So you've got to expect what you inspect as well. So, Laura, you've been very quiet in the corner there at midnight in the middle of some strange country. I don't know, but
I'm from the States. I'm in Chicago. Yeah. So when I think about inspiration, to be inspired for me is in spirit. That there's a sense of flow and grace and ease and flow and grow. And it was mentioned about marathon running. I used to run marathons, and I could say, I could get my medals out here, I could say I won some marathons, but if I'm standing next to Paula Radcliffe, who won the marathon, I had no one else in my age group, and it was about 5 people in the whole race. I won the marathon. So I mean, it's all relative. When do I feel inspired? Inspiration. It differs, and it doesn't. I remember the moment. I can visualize myself where I was at when I felt most close to my source. They call it the universe. One song, universe, and I can be in a room of 500 people and completely feel lonely, and I can be like I am more often than not, mostly me and my cat. I don't know where he went, and feel completely connected. And I've had family members who have passed because of COVID, and I'm not grateful for it. Totally. In a selfish way, I am grateful for it because I found myself. Left a very abusive narcissistic relationship about 10 months ago, June last year. And I finally got my own place, and it feels so right. I don't want anybody here. It feels really good to be okay, to be alone, not lonely. So to be in spirit, to be inspired I'm grateful for COVID, and I'm grateful for people who keep showing up. And I sometimes get irritated when I don't mess up like mistake when I confuse the timing because of the transitions with the earth and the scheduling of other powers to be. And sometimes when I fall asleep, I wake up, oh no, what? No, I missed it. And I didn't miss anything. It wasn't supposed to be that way. And I can be, today I can really sit still. Not that it's comfortable all the time, only because a few years ago, there's no way I could sit here. There's no way. I mean, not even for a second could I sit, even stand in one place. And I mean that literally. So to be in spirit, to be inspired, means that I'm in the spirit of others. Sometimes it's said, I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. So that's where I'm at today. Just for today.
Thanks. Well, today is all you got. Yeah, we've only got now. The presence of now. It's the gift that we have, and we've got to make the most of it. So thanks for sharing that, and hopefully you stay in today and play that way. So thanks so much. Right, Sally, are you ready for us now?
I'm ready, Ivan. Okay, so thanks, guys. It was very inspirational, Laura. I can completely relate to your story. Thank you for sharing. So for me, there's a few things. Thinking about COVID and about the changes that the world has gone through over the last year and a half. It's for me, it's been a blessing because I have also managed to. I've sort of evolved in terms of being more connected to myself and to source, and with that I'm seeing that people that I need in my life are gravitating towards me, and people that I don't need are sort of leaving, and that's and that for me is a blessing. It's even a couple of years ago I would have thought, what, this person's leaving me. It's sort of you go into like the state of like sort of attachment, so why are they leaving? But now I've realized that the people that I've got in my life at the moment, I've got a very, very close circle of friends, and those people, those are my they inspire me. It's like what I think was Jasper said about empathy and sympathy. I've absolutely learned to be empathetic, and I think that I'm drawing those types of people to me because that's what I need to be inspired. I am thinking about business. So the world, in the business world, has also gone through a lot of changes at the moment, and I heard a very interesting concept the other day from another friend of mine. She said that well, there was a chat that I actually saw on Facebook that this woman said that there's no, so everybody's trying to come out with the sort of the different skill that you need to learn in terms of marketing, and another friend, another lady that I know, she pitched into the conversation, and she said it's actually an identity crisis that the world is going through at the moment. And that for me sort of hit home, because it's almost like the world is in such chaos at the moment, and business is in such chaos that you need to just sort of be reminded to sort of stay true to yourself, and just keep going with what you know. And I think it's so easy to get distracted, and that is why, for me, I'm just so grateful for the circle, the close people that I have in my life, sort of just keep me on track. And yeah, that's where I am also, like Laura says today, living in the moment and just looking forward. Forget about the past, just go on. Ivan, I don't know if that's what you, if that contributes to anything.
Everything contributes something. So yeah, please don't feel that there's a right or a wrong. It's not about that at all. It's simply about expressing our opinions and hopefully challenging others to do some thinking and maybe think slightly differently. And occasionally we just have to let the dog out. So, you know, I mean, it's so I know you've got an idea of how we do things here. So welcome, and glad you could join us bright and early from Wales. So where in Wales are you?
I'm not in Wales. I'm in.
You're not in Wales. Oh.
No, I'm right on the Kent coast, so literally a stone throw from France. So I'm very lucky. Yeah, I really wasn't sure what to expect, but I guess to put it into perspective, I just feel like I'm trying to make a change in myself right now, where I give myself excuses all the time to not do something. There's always a reason why I shouldn't go for a run. There's always a reason why I'm not filling in that diary. And then I just say, oh, I'm so tired. And genuinely, I am tired. And I do love my children. I hate saying this, but when they went back to school, there was this change this time. And I felt very much like the only person that's going to make me change right now and do the things that are going to make things better and me happier, and thus everybody around me happier, is when I actually do it and have some actions and have some plans. So I'm running every day. I had one day off, and yesterday I looked at your partnership and I thought, right, I'm going to do something tomorrow. I'm going to be that person I keep trying to put on Facebook and everywhere else to inspire other people and go, hey, you know, I'm trying to be happy and da da da. I needed to do something early for me to do a run before I take the children. And I saw that it was about being positive. And it's very easy to fall. Well, when Laura was saying about being lonely sometimes, right? And I've got a house full, and that's very much how it can feel here. So I was like, right, I'm going to do this today. And I've met some wonderful people and I love everything that's being said. And I'm like, right, next week I'll do this, I'll write something better to inspire people. But I did put something on LinkedIn because I'm trying, if I put it out there, I have to hold myself accountable. This is a big thing for me. I have to put it on Facebook that I'm running every day because my friends are seeing it. And if I don't now put up day 2, day 3, day 4, they're going to go, hey, how comes you're not running? Because I've asked them to do that. But on LinkedIn, I put a dare up and I just said, I dare you for the next 6 months, I can't remember what it was, to be positive or something. And one of the quotes is there, I dare you to give up anything that's keeping you from your dreams and take out anything negative. So that's where I'm at right now. I don't think that's probably inspired you. I'm just saying the journey I'm on is I want to surround myself with people that are making me think outside the box, making me get up early. God, this is crazy time for me. So I'm grateful for that. And that's it. Sorry.
But Donna, you're going to see the sunrise when you go running, aren't you?
Yes.
That's a positive.
Yeah, I've been doing it before school, so it's I'm so lucky that I live where I do. I don't, you know, that blessing is amazing. And I take pictures all the time, and I'm sure people are like, "Ooh, stop taking those darn lovely pictures." And I don't do it to make people jealous. I genuinely do it because when you run along that coastline and the sun's coming up, sometimes it absolutely is breathtaking. And I stop and I'm like, right, I'm scrambling to get my phone out just to take a picture and say, I want to share this with you, because it feels like a bit of heaven sometimes, as cheesy as that sounds. It's like, wow, this is gorgeous. And you get goosebumps. You think, yep, I'm sharing that. So every morning I've got to push myself, because every morning it's getting harder. My legs are getting tired. But yeah, so that's it. I'm just very grateful this morning to have put myself in somewhere where I didn't know what was going to happen, outside my comfort zone, speaking to people about subjects I wasn't really sure what was going to be expected, and I'm really grateful for that.
Fantastic. Well, we're really grateful that you came along. So hopefully you will join us again. We are here every single weekday morning at this time. And tomorrow we hear 3 times. So we hear it at this time, 2 hours later, and then where is it? 4, 6, a few hours later after that. So 8 a.m. South African time, 8 a.m. UK time, and 8 a.m. Central time is the easiest way to remember it.
That's
so,
1 o'clock
yeah,
UK time.
Say again?
1 o'clock UK time.
1 o'clock UK time. Is it 1 o'clock? Oh, it will be 1 o'clock at the end of the month. You haven't changed over
No,
yet,
because America's changed their timings.
Yeah, but I think we're staying on 4 GMT plus 2 at 4 p.m. So,
Okay.
which would be 2 p.m. GMT. Yeah, so you people that mess around with your time, it's really very confusing. Doesn't inspire me at all to mess around with time. Anyway, so yeah, great to have you on board. And yeah, I think, you know, don't underestimate your actions and your commitments will inspire somebody without a shadow of doubt. And so there's never anything too small when it comes to inspiration. There's always an opportunity to inspire. So, Trevor, have you let the cat out of the bag? No. Laura's cat has gone to sleep, so that's at least somebody in the household knows how to sleep. So yeah.
My cat wanted to say hello to Laura's cat, and after that, it pushes the laptop all over the place here. So fantastic morning. I actually mentioned to Ivan after yesterday's session that I spent some time with a very good mate of mine. In fact, we paddled many doozies and ran many comrades together. And I just mentioned that 5 years ago, the surprise to all of us is that he had a triple heart bypass. He's now 75 years of age. Bumped into him last week while we were down on the beach. We just have an annual get together. And at 75, I was looking at this guy on the beach. Man, he's the fittest I've ever seen him. He's run 30 comrades. He has swum 40 mid-mile swims. He's paddled 20 doozies. Last year, just prior to COVID, he shot off to Mauritius with a bunch of guys that we used to paddle with and started to paddle around Mauritius, but they couldn't beat the cyclone. But was just having a look at the production of a guy who had a triple heart bypass 5 years later at 75, looking the meanest I've ever seen him actually looking. And he inspired me. So I've been swimming a kilometer a day. I came back and I got caught by one of the people on this forum here today doing my 2 kilometer swim. So I doubled my daily average yesterday. I began yesterday with that. But I was very interested in Ed's take on individuals who are super achievers, whether they are actually enablers or inhibitors. Now, I wouldn't even put that label on Ed, so I'm going to tend to disagree with you on individuals who are so far out there as super achievers being inhibitors. I think achievers are achievers, and they play a critical role to society on a daily basis. And that's why I put right at the top there, oh, it's all disappeared now. Are we not talking about the individual who receives the message? So instead of us talking about enablers and inhibitors, I believe we should be talking about enablees or inhibitees. Is the message that we are receiving enabling us or inhibiting us? In other words, and I think, who was it up front there? It was either Laura or Sally, maybe it was Donna. Just love the inputs coming in there. Someone said COVID-19 was a blessing that allowed them to have self-introspection and also connect with source. Wherever I've gone on almost a daily basis, people are actually talking about this. It's a constant theme that people have had the time to think. And now let me just tie that into my 75-year-old mate. He, in our little cup of tea that we had over a little scone, he had just come from a cycle. We were sitting, chatting, and he actually said this to me, and I broke down laughing at it. He said, Trevor, where did we ever find the time to work? Because right now, at 75 years of age, he's got no more time. He's just so blooming busy. He's up early in the morning. He goes out for a paddle. He comes back in, jumps on his cycle, goes off on his cycle. Then he goes off running. And of course, while he's doing all of this, someone said, they're actually feeling a little bit tired. Well, of course, he's feeling a little bit tired. So he has a cat nap on a regular basis, a power nap. And I think that is the reward that you actually have to be able to have a power nap. And it's a great power nap. But thinking about that comment, where did we ever have the time to work? I mean, this work, it interferes with what we want to achieve. So I think we've seriously got to think about doing away with work. And maybe that's where I align myself with that communist guy there who falls all over the place in the UK. What fell? I've fallen many times, Ed. Loving this chat. Thank you.
Thanks, Trevor. Yeah, and yeah, the thing that comes out of that for me, well, guess what? It's never too late to start. Eh? Yeah, after a triple bypass, get up and go again. What a pleasure. Then for me, that's definitely inspiring. So, Lee, bounced out by our favorite power utility again. So, Donna, I'm sorry, the utilities in this country are definitely not what they are in yours. But anyway, we got to work with what we got.
Yeah, thanks. I'm really sorry to have missed some of the conversation. I definitely feel I've got a strong sense of FOMO right now. So I want to say a little bit more this idea of inspire or inhibit. I was really thinking about how do I inspire? How do I inhibit? And I realized, and I want to flip it a little bit in the sense that sometimes I realize that I can inspire the wrong thing and I can inhibit. I can do something that I think is inhibiting, but it actually inspires. So my youngest daughter, it's so precious to have. So she's 28 years old, and it's very humbling that she thinks very highly of me, which is quite beautiful. But the consequence of that is, given my life, which is work, that's what she does. And Donna, I identify this constant exhaustion because you never stop, whether it's actual work, like getting bills paid type work, or family work, or whatever the case may be. There's always seems to be something to do. Weekends are not rest times. And I see her doing exactly the same thing. And she's in a constant state of exhaustion. So I'm thinking she's inspired by me, and she often tells me that, and I so appreciate it, and I'm so worried that I'm completely inspiring the wrong thing. So there, that's the one thing about inspiring is what are we inspiring? You know, what is it that we are modeling? That we want others to follow. And I love the fact, Donna, that you're doing different things because I think that inspires different things. And then I'm also reminded of Calvin Uchenefune from our Nigerian summit, who tells the story of leaving his job and taking this great leap into starting his own business. And he builds it up at this passion, and it is what he wants. And he said, and I took this great leap and I landed flat on my face. I just thought, now that actually was inspiring, because he then tells the story of what it means to pick yourself up. And I think sometimes our failures can inspire people as much as our successes. And then I was also just the thing about inhibiting is with this work, I'm just, I've just got the oldest child syndrome. I'm responsible for everybody. I do everything. I feel like it's my job, and I just get on and do it. And that's just been my go-to. And I don't ask for help. I just get on and do it. And that's just been my go-to forever. And it's my mom's 80th birthday coming up. And I've got mounds of work and lots of things to do. And it seems, especially in COVID times, I've got 60 people coming to my house to have a garden party in COVID times. And you know what? I can't do it. I have actually reached my limit. And I had a meltdown in front of my family. So not inspiring at all, but they all rallied around. My daughters, my sisters, my friends, my sister-in-law. Oh, Lee, we'll do this. And by not coping and by not doing everything as I should, I actually inspired a great flurry of activity. And everybody has literally come to the party. So yeah, that's my stories about inspiring and inhibiting. So I don't know if anybody has an idea of what to do. Ivan, you go ahead, sorry.
No problem. Yeah, so thanks, Lee. Thanks for that. Yeah, I think it is. It's interesting how sometimes just little actions can inspire, and sometimes great actions can also inspire. And must be honest, I think for some strange reason I quite like Trevor's inhibitees or inspirees statement, because I do think it's down to us as individuals whether we're going to be inhibited or inspired by somebody else's actions. But, the question is, if you're inspired, does it mean you aspire to actually do what that person has done, which has inspired you? And I don't think it's necessarily has to be the case. You can just sit back and say, wow, isn't that absolutely amazing what that person has achieved, what they've done? Does it mean I want to do it? No, but it does mean that I understand that I can possibly do more than I'm doing currently. And again, that simply comes back to your attitude and your mindset about the thing that you're viewing. I mean, I love reading and watching stories about people who do these superhuman things. I mean, it's just quite incredible the boundaries that people are breaking almost on a daily basis, and certainly in the physical realm. In this day and age, it's just, I find it incredibly inspiring. Am I going to go and jump off the highest Alp and try and do a triple back somersault, wearing no clothes? Probably not. But the fact that someone's done it and it's become his trademark is quite amazing. And the fact that he can do it, hurtling down a hill at, I don't know, some incredible speed, or catch the lip of a 50-foot wave and surf these absolute monsters. Mind-boggling. Jump off a building in a wingsuit. All of these things I find incredibly inspiring and amazing. Definitely not going to be trying too many of them, but it does tell me I can do more. And Trevor's story about his mate, triple bypass 5 years later, surfing, swimming, riding, running, absolutely inspiring. does make me feel that I do need to get out a little bit more and do a bit more, and I'm certainly been trying to do that. So you know, those little things can you know, ordinary people doing extraordinary things, I think, is what's really inspiring. You know, extraordinary people doing extraordinary things is just amazing. So there you go. So yeah, topic for tomorrow. Anybody want to chuck something into the pot?
Yeah, extraordinary versus ordinary.
Extraordinary versus ordinary. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Everyone happy with that? Good, good. All right. So go out there, be extraordinary. Don't be ordinary.
What time is it? Do we go?
Same time.
What time?
Time now. It's 8 a.m. GMT. 8 a.m. GMT. Tomorrow morning. Yeah. Same time you came on this morning.
So,
yeah.
so the same time. So tomorrow it'll be GMT +2 for this time.
Yeah. 8 a.m. GMT +2. Thanks, Lee. Yeah. 8 a.m.
And
GMT
then
+2.
UK is GMT.
Yeah. So 2 hours later. So we do
And then
the UK one.
USA will be 8 a.m. Central.
Yeah. Which is 2 p.m. GMT, 4 p.m. GMT +2, and 8 a.m. Central Time.
You better just check with BJ because she said something different yesterday.
Okay, we'll connect with BJ and find out whether America's moved. Yeah, see if we have to find them again. Yeah, so yeah, anyone called Christopher around? We can send them over in a ship and see if you can find out what happened to the US. Okay, and not 6 hours from now, Laura. No.
12 hours from now, Laura.
No, I don't think even 12 hours from now. Probably 24 hours or 23
24,
hours.
yeah, sorry. Yeah.
23 hours. 23 hours from now, so almost tomorrow morning. Our tomorrow morning, Laura, your tomorrow midnight, or more or less, or your midnight tonight, because I imagine you're sort of sitting at what, almost 1 a.m. at the moment, are you?
Close to 2. It's 1:40 in the morning.
Close to 2. Okay, there you go. So yeah, so be 1 a.m. All right, fantastic, everyone. Have a good one. See you soon. Cheers.